Welcome back to Ultra Review episode number 27. Here we're finally back discussing Ultra 7. We're here discussing episodes 31 to 34. Now, before I talk about the episodes, they introduced some of these episodes I was not a fan of seeing here. The way they do transition is like, we have to kind of like turn the scenes, like bam, bam, and then turn the scene like, what the heck is up with the transition? Yes, seriously. Like, 31 is the introduction to this thing. It was not in the previous 30 episodes. I don't remember it being there. And here it is here. I'm like, what the heck is this? Now, I don't know. I've watched any reviews of Ultra 7s because I wanted to save watching those until after I get done my review for Ultra 7. Because I'll think of my thoughts for and hear everyone else's thoughts. That's how I kind of do stuff. But in these 4 episodes, aside from the very dumb way to do transitions here, we have some very interesting stories to hear this one. In 31, basically, it starts out with this teenage girl who picks up a gray petal, kisses it, and then she collapses. Oh yeah, and it turns out she apparently invited into her body space bacteria, which is basically a small bug. And according to Earth science, at this point, they can't do anything to deal with the damn thing. So Dan's like, the only way he can deal with is if he goes in as Ultraseven, shrinks down, goes inside her body, which he does by going through her nose and fights the creature inside. Then she injected what looks like penicillin while the fight's going on. Yeah, they inject this into her blood. It looks like penicillin. I'm guessing at that. So, and then he beats the thing by using his laser and slicing the thing up. And then he gets out somehow, which is never actually explained here. It's like, yeah, let's have not stuff explained of how the heck he gets out of stuff like that. Like how the heck get out of this girl's body? Yes. Like, I get the fact he went in by her nose. I love the fact they have this little thing where it's like where she's breathing, and when she inhales, it was able to open up for him to go inside, which cool on that part. And the inside's like the way the design here looks so weird. It seems like it looks like they made it where it looks so cheap, like really really cheap. Like, what was the budget of the show running out of money? Because it seems like it. The very next episode is... It's kind of a very suspenseful episode where there's this... Apparently this object has come from space. Yes. And they describe it as a floating island. So Dan, I think it was Dan, Fubushi, and Silk, I think it was, decided to fly up on, looks like Hawk 2, I think it was. You fly up on Hawk 2 to the damn thing, and then the thing pulls via tractor beam. At least this show's version of tractor beam. And they get there, and there's nobody there. There is a monster there they showed there in the episode, but there's no aliens here. Makes you feel like, what, did they run out of money for the aliens? Seems like it. It seemed like that for the next episode too, which I'll get to that. It is bizarre. And quite obvious the show was running out of money, yet the show managed to last for a little bit longer. I don't know, it's weird. So they get trapped on the surface, and they have what looks like a control room, and they flip a switch inside, it locks the door, and for some reason they had to stand on top of each other to unlock it, and eventually they would get out no problem. So and apparently it's also created this jamming thing with general electric waves. They even have Dan where he tries to it doesn't work, so when the monster shows up, he sends away his kaiju to deal with it. Eventually he's able to, after the electric wave was destroyed, he's able to transform, chop the thing's head off, and then he flies off into space, and the island explodes, and then the episode ends with this. Dan, how'd you get back here? A question never answered. In episode 33, this one, oh my. This one is another one that's so obvious that they have virtually no budget. It's like, so they discover when they're on patrol, like there's mysterious guys just walking around with these black clothes and no shoes. Yes, no shoes. And then they get up and start attacking people. And by the way, these people are all dead. Where these bodies came from is never explained. Who the people are, never explained. Oh, and we have an interesting opening for this one where it is, get this, it is the captain and one of the staff officers transporting this tape on a submarine basically underwater on a submarine with two other submarines surrounding it. I'm like, that's interesting. A very interesting way to transport classified material. I guess they must have realized, though, transporting in the air would not be a good idea given the fact they tried to do that with a scientist. Yes, in one of the early episodes. I like the fact that was actually a smart idea to be a submarine. At least there they won't basically notice it underwater. If it was in the air, that would be completely obvious. So then they have it where they take it to this special vault. Staff officer has got this gun. He fires at a wall, opens a door, opens up a door with it, and then he opens a vault with it, unlocks a key, and just opens this big vault to put this tape about this size. And apparently this tape has got the listing of all of the bases across the freaking planet. And he brought it here for some reason. And it's never explained. So then apparently these dead bodies, they send their shadows to basically break it through a vault that's heavily electrified, open the door, by the thing doesn't have a safe code, and steal it, and then transmit it to this alien ship. And from what I've read, there actually were going to be aliens this episode, but they cut them out. You don't see aliens, you see a spaceship, which we have this weird moment when Ultraman fights them. He actually gets captured. You're like, what? Ultraseven gets captured? And he's held captive underneath the spaceship? What in the world? And then he's freed and eventually destroys the spaceship? What? Yeah, and also, this is also another time, I think this is the one where Dan comes back like, where the heck how'd you get back here? Never explained. The next episode is quite interesting, where we have Dan and I think it's Soga just on patrol, and we see these weird people, and they're cutting asphalt with this cutter. He hears a noise with it. He asks them a question, and then they describe it as a minibus, basically it's a van, a 60s van, shoots at them, and then they disappear along with their car and a police officer. But they're not dead. And then the whole city block disappears. And there's this foam that comes out of the ground. What? Yeah, this is really freaking weird. So, oh yeah, and then they discover this. And then we have, get this, Fubushi and Anne go to this hotel in civilian garb, which I'm like, wait, did I miss something? Why are they in civilian garb? And then looking for a staff officer, and he's also in civilian clothes as well. I'm like, these people do wear the uniforms in public. They have. Why in the world they're not wearing the uniforms is never explained. It just it was completely random. It's like, oh, here's Anna Fubushi in civilian clothes for no reason. And they're here to talk to this person who used a crystal ball, who's being used as sort of with this other alien who's a former human. And he's like, oh, don't interfere or I will kill him. Eventually they do find the missing city in this plains, and the city pops up out of nowhere. And apparently when they touch them, they consider, oh, they betrayed it because they can interfere because they touched them. For reason explained. Oh, and the reason why the alien's here, he wanted to live here, hide out from a storm, and it's not really going to it all. And then you have Ultraseven being pretty much going on a rampage, destroying several buildings. And then thanks to, I think it was one of the Ultra Guard, he somehow was still on patrol whenever all this is happening. He somehow finds this alien's room in this one building, shoots him, shoots up his equipment, all to return back to normal. Then this guy is an actual alien. He fights him, defeats him, and I'm wondering by the end of the episode, how the heck are they get these buildings back to that silly block? Never explained, because I'm sure it's completely forgotten by the next episode. It's like the way I describe this episode, like, what in the world happened to Ultra 7? Because a lot of the first 3 episodes are actually really good. These episodes are just plain dumb. I would say the best episode out of all these is probably 30. I'd say probably like 32. Because some of them are just plain weird. And I would say one weakness is, by the way, also there's one point. When Dan turns to Ultra 7, he somehow turned tiny for some strange reason. So the Phantoms take a glass cup and put it on top of him. Yes, a regular glass cup that he's able to shoot out of to cause a fire. And oh yeah, and by the way, the whole thing with these dead bodies is never explained. It's like you finish watching these episodes, I'm like, and you're like, did we get half of an episode here? Seems like it for a lot of them. I would say probably the one that was almost seemed like was complete was the island one. Yes. But we only have 15 episodes left to go, and then we'll basically wrap this up. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Do hit the like button. Next up, the comment corner is back to Ultra 7. Okay, next view. Bye.